Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the YesSHECan project. I am thrilled to be joined by the gorgeous Angie. Hi, Angie.
Hi, darling. Thank you for inviting me along.
Well, thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. So for anybody who doesn't know, could you give me a brief introduction into who you are and what you do, please?
Thank you. I'll try and not do it in 30 seconds and rush, as we were talking about earlier. So I'm Angie Simmons. I'm a single mum. I come from a mining town called Mansfield near Nottingham. I'm a personal development and mental wellness mentor and the founder of the Growth Development Foundation. And what that is all about, the personal development and mental wellness mentor, is built from my story. So what I've done is I've now turned my mental mess into my message to help inspire and empower and support open mission driven people, you know, whether it be a woman or a man, people that feel themselves stuck in life and they want to change their lives, but they're not quite sure how. What I do is I teach people my Majala program, which is my mind management toolkit, and also journaling.
Oh, wonderful. So going back to the beginnings of your journey into starting doing what you do now, you had such a turbulent time. Do you mind talking me through kind of the circumstances that led up to you deciding to start your business?
Of course. See, we haven't got a car outside or a phone buzzing, or we've now got a cat that's going to go meow. Anyway, it's all live, it's all good. So in January 2007, I was the happiest I'd ever been. I used to live down south. I'm from Nottingham, but I moved down south when I was younger. I got fed up of being on the dole. I'd got no qualifications whatsoever. And I decided that I wanted qualifications, which I ended up in Butlins and Bognor Regis for a NVQ in silver service. I still didn't get a certificate because the company went bust, but never mind. It was only supposed to be a 6 months course, and I stayed down there 7 years.
Wow.
And it was when I met my brother Tony's best friend, Conrad, and I just turned around and went, I want to be with him. So I came home. We got married, we bought our first home in 2001. We got married in 2003, and we had a beautiful baby girl in 2005. I'd been working in catering for quite a few years, but I had a breakdown from work-related stress. One of the things that most people don't realize, we're brought up with this mentality of go to school, get a good education so you can get a good job, so you can work and put all your effort into building somebody else's dream.
Yeah, totally.
That's what I was doing. I was always taught to do the best you can, so working extra hours doing this. Anyway, the company did not appreciate the amount of work that I put in, and in fact I went for a manager's job. I'd been training managers up. I then got told that I wasn't good enough to be a manager, but somebody that I trained was now going to be my manager.
Oh my God.
So you can imagine it was just like,
So
I had work-related stress. I was given the tablets for depression and anxiety. I decided to go to university.
Wow.
As I said, I had 2 qualifications in art from school. So me going to university was like, well, my ex-husband, that, you know, he mentioned it. He was like, right, okay, go to uni. I was like, did you see my qualifications at school? But he was like, but you love animals. And he's right, I've always loved animals. So I decided to go to university. Everything was fantastic. Everything was great. And then the day after my daughter's 2nd birthday, that's when life pulled a huge rug from underneath my feet. I'd just been downtown with my daughter Summer, and I was really shocked when I got home to see that Connie was still Conrad, Connie, Poe, depending on what mood I'm in, whatever name you get. He was still here.
Right.
Like, why are you here? And a lot of people talk about your brain, your gut brain, and all that sort of stuff. This one lies to you. You know, it's designed to keep you safe. The gut brain does not lie. So, you know, when you hear that gut instinct, listen to it. So yeah, I had the gut instinct, and I was like, something's not right. Something's not right. Something's not right. And within I think half an hour, my fears were concerned. Yeah, I got the phone call, and I still remember that scream that left my mouth as I slid down the washing machine. It it was just, I can't describe the pain. Knowing Connie had gone out to see if he could find Tony, because he was on his way out to my house for that motorbike ride.
And Tony's your brother, isn't he?
Yeah, Tony's my brother. So he'd gone to find Tony. So then I knew that Connie was on the bike. Right. I couldn't get in touch with my mum. She'd gone shopping. My biological father thankfully answered the phone.
Right.
And I didn't want to tell anybody over the phone what had happened. It'd been killed, basically. I just wanted to get them all to the hospital.
Right.
That didn't go to plan. My mum was screaming down the phone, why do I need to get to hospital? I'm just like, just please get to the hospital and wait for me. My biological father, as soon as he saw me face, he knew. But yeah, Con was on his bike, and I was like, just meet me at the hospital. Just meet me. And he wouldn't listen to me. I'm coming home. Just meet me at the hospital. Anyway, so Tony he'd been killed, bless his little heart, and I blame myself. It was me that got Tony into motorbikes. When I said I came home from down south, I'd got a motorbike. Tony didn't like it. How can my big sister have a motorbike and I haven't got one? So he was on a mission, and every time I got a bigger bike, he had to get a big bike. And I kept saying to him, it's a term of endearment when I say this, by the way. We used to call it, men up here sometimes, brothers call each other Shag, or we used to. Okay. So I'd be like, Shag, what are you doing? I'm the cat lady, not you. You haven't got 9 lives.
Yes.
It was his ninth accident.
Was it?
Yeah, he kept trying to do things on a bike that you're not supposed to, and he kept falling off and hurting.
Oh my gosh.
So, it was his 9th accident. And because it was me that introduced him to it, I instantly went down that path of, it's my fault.
Oh, bless you.
I'd killed my brother. That's exactly how I felt. I'd actually killed, because Tony, I've got 3 brothers, but Tony was my best friend.
Yeah.
And we weren't growing up as siblings, beated each other up and did all sorts of stuff when we were kids. But when I left, that's when we really, really connected. And we were like chalk and cheese. We knew what each other was going to say, what we each other were thinking. So the thing was, like I say, I blamed myself. But unfortunately for me, others did too.
Oh, for God's sake.
This is when I added alcohol to the mix of tablets.
Okay.
And it was just a bit to shut this up.
Yeah.
And it's because I didn't know any better at the time. It was just drown your sorrows, drown your sorrows, drown your sorrows. And then on Boxing Day, I'd already dropped it out. Boxing Day 2009, my husband also left.
Oh, for goodness sake.
At the time, I blamed him. I can't believe you leaving me in this state.
Yeah.
But looking back at it, he'd had 2 years of me just self-destructing.
Yeah.
And he couldn't be around it anymore. So
I can't imagine though, Angie, how difficult that must have been, not only to have lost your brother, but then to have your family confirming the things that you're already thinking about such a tragic event. How I know that you said that you added alcohol to the mix, but how was that for you as a person?
If I say that I don't blame my ex-husband for leaving, I wanted to leave, just not in the way he did. I wanted to be Tony.
Yeah.
That's I got a beautiful baby girl. My mum, family, friends, lots of people supporting me. I just wanted Tony.
And you just wanted to be away from the thoughts that were in your head, I bet, as well.
Yeah, so when Conrad left, it was like, when we're going to that nobody loves you, blah, 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 that downward spiral of, and we all do it. We all have moments in our lives when we think that we're not valued or we're not needed or whatever BS story we're telling ourselves.
Yeah.
So when my husband left, it was like, see, told you, you'd never been married, never had this. A comment when I was a child, he's going to take somebody extra special to take you on board. So when he left, see, you can't even, you was told when you was a kid that you'd never keep a relationship. So it was, you're not loved. It was a very, very, very dark time.
What was your strength? Was it your daughter, would you say?
I would say, without realising, yes. Even though I told myself she would be better off, I couldn't do that to her. I remember when I was 11 years old, and my granddad, bless him, loved my granddad. He lived in Scotland, and his my nana passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it was 2 years after my nana had passed away, he couldn't handle it, and he committed suicide.
Really?
I could never put somebody through that pain.
Yeah.
Because
you'd been on the receiving end already.
Yeah, but also, when I think about it, my thoughts have got that low that I have really, really considered it.
Yeah.
But I've not had the guts to do it. It must take a lot of guts to do something like that as well, personally.
Yeah.
But also being through the pain myself. I couldn't do that.
Because they say, don't they, that it's a permanent fix to a temporary problem.
It is
something like that, because things most of the time can always be worked through. You can always get better. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. But for people that are in that situation, when they don't see that, like you did, I mean, it's just a blessing that you didn't carry through on your thoughts.
Yeah. And the thing is as well, there's also that stigma that I'm not sure. My daughter's definitely not got that, because I've made sure I flipped the switch and changed that. But I was brought up with this: if you cry,
you're a wimp.
If you ask for help, you're weak, and people are going to look down at you. So asking for help is one of the hardest things that people can do.
Yeah, definitely.
What I've found, it's the most empowering thing to do.
Yeah.
It takes a hell of a lot of strength to ask for help. A hell of a lot. And definitely. Unfortunately, a lot of people get that down on themselves, that they haven't got that strength to ask.
Yeah. And they don't want to show any signs of weakness, because they already feel weak within themselves anyway.
Exactly.
Oh. Angie, journaling is a massive, massive part of what you do. What are the circumstances surrounding your starting for journaling? Because it kind of came along at a really pivotal time and really, really helped you to move forward, didn't it?
Absolutely. So the first turning point in my life from where I was 2014, when I was introduced to personal development.
Okay.
And all it was a CD. Somebody gave me a CD and asked me to put it in the car. Now,
really?
You remember me talking about the drink? I was angry with the world and everything, Michelle.
Yeah.
I was listening to thrash metal music in my car. That
yeah.
was me. So I've now got to put a CD in my car, take out the thrash metal stuff, and listen to this guy pipe on about what the hell is this? And I was like, no, listen to it, and listen to it. Something was guiding me to listen.
Yeah.
So I kept listening and listening and listening, and that got me into personal development. I heard about journaling several times. Like Jim Rohn, great philosopher, always talks about journaling. I honestly thought it was a crock of whatever.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to swear here, because I've got sometimes.
You can swear, it's fine.
I get potty mouth sometimes. I'm trying not to, but I thought it was a crock of shit. Really, writing helps. So I never picked a book up. I never, did anything like that. And then in February 2000, something about February, as my daughter hates her birthday, bless her. February 2018, just before my daughter's birthday, not after this time, thankfully, my mum passed away suddenly from cancer. We knew she was ill, but we thought she'd been told she'd got 10 years. 6 months.
Oh my God.
She just literally spiraled really, really quickly. And my mum, bless her heart, love her, miss her loads. But we said at her funeral that she was a creator of her own life. In other words, she had a museum. She kept everything.
Did she? Oh.
Yeah. And she had a council house. And I don't know if you know, but you have 2 weeks to empty a council house.
Seriously?
2 weeks. Now, I had a hell of a lot to do. I've still got, a dog grooming business, which I've still got. I had to try and keep that afloat. So I had to keep trying to work through what I'd got, with all the emotions. My daughter became extremely ill because the same people that attacked me when my brother was killed attacked me again.
Oh, for God's sake.
So I knew I needed something else to add to my well-being routine that I'd been doing for a few years. I was sat there one day in my mum's chair with a coffee, and I'd got a pile of paperwork to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through all this paper, bin. What is this? And all it was a small, in fact, still got it. I've not got it here with me, but I've normally got it with me.
Yeah.
My mum's almanac diary. My mum was a white witch.
Okay.
And I sat there and I thought she'd only made a couple of entries. So I decided I was going to use this diary to connect to mum.
Ah.
And all I did was started writing down a couple of sentences in the morning, a couple of
Mm-hmm.
sentences in the evening, and then I was monitoring the 3 key actions.
Okay.
But that sliding doors moment, Michelle, was just, it was the missing piece of my jigsaw. Because when people, like I say, I got my mum's funeral to organise, my mum wanted to be buried with my brother.
Okay.
She also wanted a pagan funeral.
Right.
Which I knew was going to cause lots of conflict.
And did your family not agree with that side of your mum's life?
My mum's side of the family were amazing.
Okay.
They knew my mum. They knew my mum, and they was absolutely fine.
Yeah.
With, you know, they're a bit sort of like, what is this? But they knew. Mum used to say when we were kids, we're black sheep of the family.
Right.
And, you know, I don't mean it wasn't in a nasty sense. It's just we had different beliefs.
Yeah.
Because my family is very highly Christian, and I remember actually when I got married, and I had a pagan. I had a handfast in Sherwood Forest, and then I had a medieval banquet for the evening, and my grandma turned around to me. She says, "That's the most beautiful wedding I've ever been to." And I was like, but yeah, the turning point was the journaling. Was like I said, I'd got all this stuff going off.
Yeah.
Organising the funeral, looking after my daughter, helping my siblings, emptying my mum's house.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what my life felt at that time. Yes, I did have a bit of chance to process and work through my grief, but
yeah,
that came a bit later.
Were you worried at any point that such a tragic time was going to just reopen old wounds and you were just going to be straight back in the position that you were before?
Absolutely. Like I said, I knew I felt different. You know, when I got that phone call, that conversation that I knew was coming, I was just like, I don't think so.
Okay.
Years ago, that would have derailed me for a long time. But I just went, no. And the greatest sentence I've heard is no. People don't understand that no is a full sentence.
Yeah,
it is. No, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. And you remember that? I'm not sure. Somebody maybe who's watching or listening remembers the cartoon character Batfink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my wings are like a shield of steel. That's how I felt. But some bullets were getting through. Okay. So I knew I needed more. I knew I needed to do something more than I'd been doing already. Mm-hmm. But we might start doing this writing down. I wouldn't even call it journaling at the time.
Okay. Just writing your thoughts
down and monitoring a couple of actions. But it made such a massive difference to how I dealt with what was going off. I was very, very worried that I was going to go downhill again. Massively worried. And that's when I thought I need to ramp my stuff up because I can't go back there again.
That's showing how much strength you have, though, that you were aware of that. So the work that you had done in the meantime really served you well so that you recognized what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. So yeah, it was a huge, like I say, jigsaw piece. You know, I thought I'd got things sorted. I think we all do sometimes, don't we? Think we've got it all sorted, and then life goes poof. And that literally pulled the rug from underneath my feet, but I weren't. This time I didn't land on my back. I actually landed on my knees and was able to get back up.
Brilliant. So with you, you talked about the Majala method. Can you explain a bit more to me about what that means and how you teach it and how people can implement it in their lives when they come to you for your services? Absolutely.
So started with the journal, which was my wellbeing routine, because I couldn't find a journal. Originally I was looking for a journal because I started doing this bit. And I bought a couple and I'm like, there's not enough in this journal. Mm-hmm. And it was my coach at the time. She says, well, why don't you design one? And I was like, go figure. Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
Design one. Which you know Claire Cahill.
Yeah.
It was Claire that just said, well, why don't you design one? And I was like, okay, let's do it. One of the things I realized from that thing was I love being creative.
Okay.
And the thing for the listeners, when you are being creative, you're in flow.
Yes.
Whatever that creation is for you, whenever you're feeling in flow and you're feeling high energy, keep going, because that will take you along.
And that's releasing a lot of things as well, because you've got an outlet, haven't you?
Indeed. So as I said, the journal was working. I'd built it up to a year-long undated journal.
Okay.
I structured it. With my mum's almanac, one of the things I saw was the moon.
Okay.
And I was like, what's this moon business about? And it's always we don't realize how many questions we ask the universe on a daily basis. But that was one of my questions. What's all this about? Within a week, I ended up at a moonology class.
No way.
Go figure. And I sat there and I went,
wow.
Wow. And she recommended a book.
Okay.
That one, which is a moonology journal.
Oh, cool.
I went, oh, wow. So I went on to that one and then I went, right, but I need more. Yeah, so that's when this beauty came out. I do this so people know the size of it. It's not a flimsy.
Oh, it's thick, isn't it?
Big one. It's year long, it's undated, but it's a workbook.
Right.
So Majala is that.
Okay.
I teach the science behind the journal.
Right.
And how it works. So Majala is about helping people gain more clarity about their life.
Yeah.
Helping them with more connection with the inner world, the inner work.
Yeah.
Also the outer world. So most of us don't realize how much the outer world affects the inner world.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's about giving them that strength and that courage to say, like me earlier, no.
Yeah, it's almost like building an invisible shield around you, still being a part of the outer world, so to speak, but being that strong on the inside and working on your own self-development, that those kind of things can just bounce off almost.
Yeah, absolutely. So the journal came along by, like I say, talking to Claire. Then I met a lady at a networking just before lockdown, actually. Okay. And she was like, oh, you're the lady. The journal, I need to see the journal. I'm like, it's not been out that long. Oh, okay. So I got the journal out and she just went, there's a course in this journal. And I was like, there's a what? She says, there's a course. And I say that for people to understand, sometimes we can't see the wood for the trees.
Absolutely.
Listen to other people, because they can, when they give you input, because they might be able to see something that you can't see. Yeah. And I just looked at her and I was like, a course, really? She went, well, why is that in there? What's that for? What's the moons for? Because in the journal is also a mood and moon tracker. Okay. Especially women don't realise that your mood and everything go round within the moon. The moon affects the earth, it affects the planet, it affects the oceans. We're 70% water. So of course it's going to affect us. Oh my God, yeah. I started like looking at it all. And going, oh my God, and then like noticing my own cycle, my monthly cycle. Yeah. Also how the moon affects me personally. Okay. Whether I'm going to be in flow or not. So I got into moonology. So that was part of bringing in. That's why it came in the journal. But yeah, I talked about Majala. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent. So it's about helping people gain more clarity, understanding where they are, how they've got to. So looking at your past, how you started, and where you've got to now. Looking at that and where you want to move forward. Okay. Connection in the outer world. The third pillar of it, like I say, it's my own methodology. It's all about mindset. So helping people with different types of things to help them with the mindset. And the last one is growth, because as we all know, nothing grows, nothing works without growth. Yeah, absolutely. Everything stays the same. If you don't water a plant, it dies. We're the same. So yeah, the Majala, it's my own mind management toolkit. It's about helping people step out of the past and into the future for true transformation. So it's a 7-week mentoring program. Brilliant. And as I say, it's the journal is the course is the journal. Yeah, they're all intertwined. So after 7 weeks, they've still got the journal to carry on what I've taught them through the 7 weeks. Definitely. So I've noticed as well, Angie, on the front of your journal and through a lot of your social media posts and on your website, it's
your mantra is, how am I feeling today? How important do you think it is for us, you know, especially as women in particular, how important is it for us to ask ourselves that question every day and kind of check in?
I don't think it's just for women, but then more for women, because men sometimes don't ask. We are not connected to our feelings most of the time.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier, stiff upper lip. Don't ask about it, don't do that. Oh no, that's weak, blah, blah. When you start understanding your thoughts, feelings and actions, because you need to understand them, because they're paramount to your own emotional and mental well-being.
Yeah, and growth as well.
Growth. So me personally, asking how I'm feeling, it's about me going inside and connecting with me as an energy being, as a person, as a mom. It's about me time. That is the reason why I asked how I'm feeling, because obviously at the time I was feeling awful. I was feeling like I was going back years and I didn't want to go back there. So how am I feeling? It triggers a different type of side of the brain for you to think and go, right, so actually, how am I feeling? How am I feeling present with myself? Getting that out of your head, because most people will constantly ruminate over stuff, and then they wonder why they can't sleep.
Yeah, I do the same.
They've got this stuff going off in their head saying that, you know, and most of us go to bed thinking about the stuff that we haven't done, instead of going to bed celebrating about what the stuff we have done. That's
something so simple like that can turn things round for people. Exactly. That's amazing.
So that is my first question in the journal. For the first my journal split in two parts, morning and evening. So the morning is literally about how am I feeling, doing your gratitude, doing your affirmations, doing your planning, your meditation, all that sort of, you know, all the well-being stuff that's out there that so many leaders are teaching. A lot of people think it's woo-woo, but it's not. Far from woo-woo. As I said, we're feeling beings. We're not robots. We are part of this planet. We are connected to everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when we get into ourselves, then life feels a bit better. So when I said earlier about going to sleep, my last question is, what's made you happy and proud?
Okay.
So instead of going to bed going, I haven't done this, you're actually going to bed, I've done this, and this has made me happy, and you sleep better.
And you're lifting your energy just by pointing out to yourself the things that you've managed to achieve that day, no matter how small they are.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, you know, when I speak to people who've got the journal, guess which bit that they don't fill in the most?
Don't know.
The last question.
What
have I done to make me happy and proud? Because most people, you know, will get up in the morning and, you know, something will go wrong, which will totally derail the day, and the entire day is shit.
Yeah.
But when you sit there and go, so what's made me happy and proud? You'll be amazed how many things you can actually find. And then it, as you say, it lifts your energy. But most people, when they're in that, everything's crap. They don't want to lift. It's not they don't want to, but they're not
accustomed to doing that.
We're not programmed. We're not programmed to do it. So
and it's like honest, you said about this.
Sometimes I do it.
Yeah. It's like you said about the stiff upper lip though as well. It's almost like, I think as a society and over the years, up until recently, when people have started talking a lot more about this kind of thing and being open about it, people are often reluctant to kind of celebrate the things that they've done and feel happy and proud within themselves, because it's not society's way, is it? It's really odd.
No. One of my go-tos for that particular thing is, don't be big-headed.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Not boasting. And it's, why can't we boast? Why can't we be happy and proud? We've done something, we've achieved something. Why can't we stand up on a rooftop and shout, yes, look what I've done?
Yeah.
I still do it myself, but that's my old programming. And you know, some people go, oh, I didn't know about that. Why didn't you tell me about that? And I'm like,
yeah, you go small, don't you? But really,
we all do it.
Proud.
After all these years now, it's been 8 years I've been doing my inner work. I still have times where I just go, Angie, get over yourself. You know, why are you not? My daughter, she boasts, shouts left, right, and centre, because as I said earlier, I flipped that switch. I'm not having her feeling like that. She's got every reason to be proud for all the hard work that she's done. So have I, so have you, so has everybody else.
Definitely.
But, you know, and if there is somebody there that is saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, they don't deserve to be in your life.
Yeah.
I always talk about finding the people that elevate you, not deflate
Yeah.
you. Stay away from the mood hoovers.
Mood hoovers, I love that. It
sucks the life out of you. Keep away from them. They are the mood hoovers of life. Like, oh, you're one of those. Bye then. So yeah, it is one of those situations that we need to celebrate who we are. Because if we don't celebrate what we've done, what we've achieved, who we are, then that negative spiral will just keep going.
And it'll keep going down the generations as well. The same way that obviously we've been affected and our generation's been affected by the way that we were brought up and the things that we were led to believe. Yeah,
absolutely.
So what's coming next for the Growth Development Foundation, Angie?
What's coming next? Wow.
It's a large question. If
you saw, I don't call it a to-do list.
Okay.
I call it get shit done list.
I like that. That sounds better.
If you see it, it's and the thing is what I've learned as well, because it's so big sometimes I go, right, what can I do? That's overwhelming.
That's overwhelming. Totally.
But also I know that I'm in flow when I'm creative. And I don't know about anybody else, with COVID, it's hit a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I've been in that sense where I've not been in flow. I've not been creative.
Okay.
And I had this question to myself again the other day, or asked, right, what's next? And then I have a lovely phone call from Abby Head. And we sort of talked about it a bit ago, but we didn't talk about it. So we are now collaborating, and I'm doing a 30-day journal for journalists.
Wow.
So I'm designing that with Abby. I'm also putting my course online. So don't get me wrong, I would prefer people to be on the course with me, because then I can work through anything that comes up for them and chat to them. But I understand there's a lot of people that, you know, they want to just do courses online. So I am going to be doing that.
Okay.
So that's going to be innovating Growth Development Foundation, because it means that I've got ever ready content for people to just do whatever they want to.
It can slot in people's lives that way, can't it? And they can dip in and out when they have the time.
Yeah, it can. The biggest one that's coming up for me at the moment is I'm looking at changing Growth Development Foundation into a CIC.
Okay.
So I can help more people, because now I'll be able to get government grant funding, so I can help people who are really struggling, that can't afford to be on a course, to help them with the mindset and personal development. And the big one, so the CIC should be coming soon.
Yeah.
Going online should be within the next 6 months. The big one, this is the big, hairy, scary goal.
I'm so excited. I'm literally on the edge of my seat.
I'm selling up.
Are you?
Yes. My daughter is at this, she wants to go to drama school.
Okay.
The one thing I didn't mention earlier for the listeners, when I was going through my bad time, Summer was being picked on at school, bottom of her class, very ill. When my mum died, she became very ill again. So she was really, really struggling. I became self-employed and started working. Well, I started working on myself, became self-employed, which gave me the time back to be there for her.
Okay.
She wanted to follow her dream to become an actress. She's done it twice on the West End.
Oh, wow.
She's just left school with 4 A's, 2 A stars.
Oh.
She's doing her mocks now. She's doing her A levels to go to performing arts.
Okay.
And she's just come out with triple A's.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
I don't say that to impress anybody, it's to impress upon people. When especially adults, you work on you, it affects your children.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Summer is now decided that she wants to go to London. She wants to be on the West End. She wants to be on cruises. She has got so many goals. It's just incredible to look at. And it made me sit and look at myself and go, come on, Ange, you're not 50 yet. You're not 60 yet. You're not in the ground. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm selling up and I'm going to buy some land to be off grid so I can have my own well-being camp.
Yay.
It's all going to be about getting back to nature and living off the land.
Yeah.
So electricity would be solar panels.
Okay.
It'd be running water, but I don't, it's not going to be TVs and four walls and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. Say four walls, tree houses. Let's get back to
Yeah.
it.
Oh my
So
God.
it's
That's
about
amazing.
inviting people on, having my own allotment, all that sort of stuff. So teaching people how to live off the land and get back to being a child again.
Oh,
So
and is that
that's
something that you've always been passionate about?
I had a bit of a dream about 20 years ago, buying
Mhm.
some land, but didn't think about selling the house. It was just
Okay.
having a campsite, That's all it was. But the more I've got into the work that I do now, the more
Yeah.
I've got into my spiritual side since
Mhm.
Mum passed away, the more I understand about us being connected to nature, the more it's hit me like a ton of bricks
Yeah.
the past couple of years. And I'm like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And what I've found, if you've got some, like most people, they have a goal, a vision, a dream.
Mhm.
They don't do anything about it because, one, they don't believe they can.
Yeah.
Two, they struggle with seeing how they're going to get there.
Okay.
Most people focus on the stuff of getting there. Decide what you want to do and reverse engineer it. The
Yeah.
universe will give you the steps. The universe will show you. It'll give you opportunities.
Mhm.
As long as you're doing the work to, I'm not saying sit on the sofa with a glass and then say, I want to be a millionaire, and if it comes tomorrow, it won't. You're not actually doing any action to make it happen.
Yeah.
But if you're asking the right questions and taking the right action, then you'll be given the path.
Definitely.
And so for me, this just keeps coming back. It keeps coming back and keeps coming back. And I'm like, will you listen, Ange?
Yeah.
There's only so many times.
Take your own advice, Ange.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, there's only so many times to bring it back to you. So it's a very hairy, scary goal. But yes, I've decided I'm going to do it. What is the point?
You're scared of?
What I'm scared of more than anything is the loneliness side of it.
Okay.
Although I have spent, like I say, just before lockdown, I became lonely because I had to stop what I was doing, going out, socializing and all that. Then COVID hit, boom.
Mhm.
Now we're it. And I'm like, well, but I don't want to go back to that world.
Yeah.
There is a few friends that I still have, don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying everybody was bad. It was just, they didn't help me move forward.
Okay.
So me being where I am now, I still got a few people around me.
Yeah.
But if I go off grid, I'm going to be totally on my own.
Okay.
And although I'm happy to be on my own a certain bit, because I say to people, the quieter you get, the more clarity you get.
Yes.
Totally.
Because then you've got that completely clear space, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. But being off grid, away from everybody, totally. Oh, yeah. All my days. But then one of my friends was talking. He said, so where do you see Letha? And I went, right, Centre Parks, but not Centre Parks. I don't want a big thing, with bars in it. And I don't, and then I said, and that's a bit big. And then I went, actually, what? The guy who owns Centre Parks don't live on Centre Parks.
No, exactly.
What are you doing, Ange? And he's like, this brain, as I say, try to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So it's all about this brain going, no, you can't do that. No. So it's natural to be scared.
Yeah, of course it is.
It's the comfort zone. But I think the biggest one, is the loneliness. But when I think about it, am I going to be alone when I've got things that need building and fixing and sorting?
Mm-hmm. No. And are you going to be alone when you invite people for like workshops and retreats and things like that?
Not at all.
Oh, I'm so happy.
It's now finding my partner. They're out there to help me do it.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there, universe. I need someone that can build and do DIY because I can do bits, but I can't build tree houses. So
Bob the Builder, but in human form.
Yes. And not look like Bob the Builder, thank you very much.
No.
Well, I can't remember. It can look a bit more like Jason Momoa.
Okay.
I'd be happy with that.
Right, universe, are you listening?
Yeah, get busy.
So what's been your highlight so far, Angie?
In what do you
mean? In your growth development foundation and your journey, really.
Highlight. God, there's been so many. I think, do I want to say about me or?
Yes.
Because I was my daughter. Just highlight for me has been taking back control of my life.
Yeah.
the having the confidence to sack the boss, that was the most scariest day ever, I think.
Okay.
Just basically saying, look, you know what you can do with your job.
Yeah.
So there were, you know, I've heard Tony Robbins about burn the boat.
Okay.
You know, you've heard people say burn the bridge. I don't burn them, I blow them up. There's no way. I made a decision.
Get some TNT.
Yeah, some tea. Well, I did TNT and drove home going, why? Because I was working full time and I'd got my little dog grooming business, but I didn't have the confidence to make that business.
Yeah.
And having that do one.
Yeah.
Was, oh my God, I could lose my house. I could lose everything. But I made it happen.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the insight of knowing that I have got the strength to do whatever I want.
Yeah. It's that self-belief, isn't it? Yeah. And looking back on what you've managed to pull yourself through, not only pull yourself through, but grow yourself through, you know, is really, really amazing to see.
Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
But there's been quite a few insights, quite a few, you know, the biggest, like I said, the no is a full sentence.
Yeah.
Thinking I was brought up with family's everything.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned different. Family is blood. The family that I have are the people that I choose. Don't get me wrong, I've got an incredible family. I love them all. My aunties, my uncles, my cousins, I love them all.
Yeah.
But yeah, certain members of family, you've got to have those people that are there for you, not against you. So
yeah, absolutely.
Insight for me as well, because as soon as I got rid of the mood hoovers, everything started to become brighter.
Oh, bless you. So Angie, if you could go back to that woman when all the shit was hitting the fan and you were at your lowest, if you could go back to her, to yourself, what would you say?
What the F are you doing? Seriously, go back to the person I was before I got into personal development. I'd give her you've just triggered me now.
Sorry.
It's fine. I'd give her a big hug and tell her she's loved.
Absolutely.
Because at the time, I didn't feel loved at all. And I didn't think I'd be okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would go back to her, give her a huge hug, tell her it's going to be okay and that I love her. And she's loved.
And can you imagine, this sounds really bizarre, but can you imagine her seeing you now and seeing what she's achieved?
No.
It's incredible.
Far from seriously, you know, when I said I hated the world and everybody. I remember when I went to one of my first seminars that I've been introduced to.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like coloured stuff. I like my dyed stuff. I'm a bit of a hippie at heart. But I turned up in all my hippie stuff with a pint in my hand. This is like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd got a pint. I do drink pints. I know before people like, woman, drink pint. I know it's like the norm now, but yeah. At one point, you don't drink pints, you're not allowed to drink pints. You can do one, I'm drinking a pint. And I remember watching all these people getting up and singing and dancing and happy clappy crap is what I called it. And I just thought, what the hell have I got myself into? Really? And yeah, so no, me meeting my old self now, I don't know what my old self would say to my new self. I know what the new self would say to my old self, but yeah, wow, that is something for me to think about.
Yeah,
hugely, because I don't know what my old self would say.
I'm sure she'd be really proud.
Do one.
Let's do one.
Just do one. I don't want you. You're too happy for me. Go away.
Yeah.
I need some gloom and gloom. Thank you very much. But yeah, I know when I do have my moments of clarity and sit, and you know, I get silent a hell of a lot.
Yeah. And
I do have to. I do. My best friend says it. Get the boo-hoos out.
Okay.
And you know, I say to people, it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
You're a human being, not a robot. And I look back at who I used to be. I look back at my daughter, how she was at the time. I look back at the financial stuff. You know, I was £20,000 in debt, and I was moving from credit card to credit card, from loan to loan.
Yeah. And
it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know, and I say I was building somebody else's future, my own internal prison.
Yeah.
And I don't mean isn't in prison, isn't in metal. I mean literally underground.
Yeah.
because that's how I felt. That's where I was.
Yeah.
But when I look back and I look at, do I regret it? Not a chance. Not a chance.
It's made you who you are today.
Yeah, I actually can, not in this, look at me, I'm a maid boss. I can actually put my hand on my heart and say I am extremely proud of myself. Something I could have never said before.
Yeah.
Never said.
Absolutely, because that self-belief is there now.
Everybody's got the right to say that they're proud of themselves.
Yeah, of course they have. Oh, that's so lovely.
You didn't make me cry. Nearly
Only
did.
nearly. So Angie, if for anyone who's wanting to work with you and wanting to find out more, where can they find you?
Well, I've got my website, which is www.growthdevelopmentfoundation.co.uk. I have to remember this because sometimes I missed it. They can find me, Growth Development Foundation, on Facebook and on Instagram, or they can find me as Angie Simmons on LinkedIn.
Fabulous. I shall put all the links in the show notes for you as well, so people can click straight through. Well, Angie, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you today. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much for inviting me, my darling.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I shall speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.